Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a book review on the Order of Darkness series by Philippa Gregory. Changeling is book 1 in Philippa Gregory's Order of Darkness series. Set in 1453, 17-year-old Luca Vero has been accused of heresy and expelled from his monastery. In order to atone for his mistakes, he is recruited by a mysterious organization to help investigate evil across Europe. His first mission is to travel to a nunnery and find out why the nuns are having strange visions and walking in their sleep. It's here he meets Isolde, a young woman who has been forced to join the nunnery. They work together to uncover the truth of the mysteries taking place in the nunnery. In Stormbringers, Luca and company learn of a young boy who claims to have divine orders to lead a large group of children on a pilgrimage to the Holy Land. Does this young boy really have the gift of prophecy, or is he a fraud? In Fool's Gold, we follow Luca and his friends as they travel to Venice to uncover a conspiracy involving the forgery of gold coins and the secrets of alchemy dealing with the Philosopher's Stone. And in Dark Tracks, Luca and his friends travel to a new town to continue their quest to learn about mysterious events that threaten Christendom and foretell the end of days. This time they come across a village where many of the townspeople have become possessed by the dancing sickness. So that's just a quick rundown of what you get in each of these different books. And yeah, before I do continue, I am reviewing the first 4 books in this series. That's all that's been released so far. I don't know if Philippa Gregory plans on continuing. I'm assuming she does plan on continuing. It's just going to kind of be a series that she just, whenever she feels like writing a new book, she's just going to write a new book, I suppose. So yeah, even though this is a review for all 4 books, I'm not going to have any spoilers in here, so continue to watch freely as you wish. So yeah, this is really just going to be an overview on the first 4 books in the series, the things I like so far, the things that I'm not particularly liking. So yeah, let's get going. Like I said in my opening synopsis for this first book in the series, these books take place in the mid-1400s. They're all pretty much all in Italy, if I'm not mistaken. Every single book so far takes place in some town or some village or city within Italy. The characters have yet to branch out of Italy just yet. And also of note, since this series is written by Philippa Gregory, you may be familiar with Philippa Gregory as an adult historical fiction writer. The Order of Darkness series is her first attempt and foray into, you know, trying her hand at young adult historical fiction. And yeah, that can be a very different sort of thing. And I do feel like at times Philippa Gregory kind of struggled with that, you know, she is so used to writing adult historical fiction. She's so used to kind of the flow and the pacing of something like that. And yeah, with young adult literature, you know, it's meant to be a bit more focus grabbing, you know, really grab the reader, and young adult tends to have a much quicker, faster pace and a lot more things kind of going on for the most part. And yeah, I think Philippa Gregory sometimes struggled with that. And another big problem with her series as a whole, I don't know if Philippa Gregory felt the need, like, oh, I'm writing in the young adult genre, and what do young adult books like to do the most? They like to have love triangles, and even better, sometimes they like to have love quadrangles. So I feel like Philippa Gregory, one of the huge negatives I do have with this series is that she felt the need to kind of force in not only just a love triangle, but a love quadrangle. Because we do have the main character of Luca, who he's not like a priest or anything, but he was kind of initially going to be like a priest, but some things kind of fall out, and he's given this order by this group known as the Order of Darkness. They kind of work with the Pope and with the Vatican and whatnot. He's kind of given this mission by the Order of Darkness, who's a very shadowy, mysterious group, and they want him to investigate evil across Christendom. And what that means is investigate just weirdness, essentially. Why are people doing this? Why are people doing that? Is it heresy? Is it a crime? Is it the devil? What is it? Is it something that can be easily explained? So yeah, that's kind of Luca's function in this entire series. He's an inquisitor. He's meant to provoke questioning and find out if something is produced by the devil, essentially. So yeah, you have the main character of Luca. You have the other main character of Isolde, who she's this really great lady. She's a young lady of wealth and privilege, but her father dies. Her brother takes over the estate that kind of rightfully really belongs to her in some ways, because the father wanted it to go to her, not her brother. But yeah, her brother forces her away. She's forced to go to a nunnery. And yeah, that's kind of how Luca and Isolde, their paths cross in the first book especially, because Luca has to investigate some weird goings on at the nunnery. The nuns are acting strangely. They're walking and talking in their sleep and doing weird things. And then yeah, you have Luca's friend, I think the name is pronounced Frieze. Frieze is Luca's manservant, essentially, and he's kind of the comedic relief. And then Isolde, she has her own lady's maid named Ishrak, I think is how her name is pronounced as well, Ishrak. And she comes from a Muslim background, actually. And so there's an interesting backstory there about how Ishrak, even though she's of a Muslim upbringing, how she was kind of brought over to Italy, how her story connects to Isolde and whatnot. And yeah, her back and forth kind of with her own Muslim faith, and yeah, that she does live with a Christian woman, So yeah, kind of that question of faith back and forth with her. Does she practice any sort of faith at all? So yeah, that's those four main characters: Luca, Isolde, Frieze, and Ishrak. And that's kind of where you get your love quadrangle, you guys. That's where the love quadrangle is. It's very complex and confusing at times, very unnecessary as well. And so yeah, that's what I'm saying. One of the huge negatives, I think, with Philippa Gregory, with this series, she just didn't know what to do with these characters at times, like how to give them proper, meaningful relationships, I suppose. It's like she does a good job with the Luca and Frieze relationship, the two of them almost kind of behaving rather brotherly, and the same for Ishrak and Isolde. They have a very sisterly bond with one another. So it's like the two guys have a good relationship and the two girls have a good relationship. But yeah, when the characters intermingle, when the sexes intermingle, it's just very confusing and weird at times, and kind of awkward and not very, very well done, unfortunately. And yeah, it's like, I've read all of Philippa Gregory's adult fiction, okay? I have read just about all of it. I'm close to finishing all of it. And yeah, I feel like in her other books, her adult fiction, she just does a really good job of enhancing and fleshing out her characters and fleshing out relationships. And I never have a problem with her adult fiction books, to be quite honest. So yeah, that's really just the one complaint with her young adult series I have, is kind of the forced love quadrangle, if you will, that she kind of felt the need to do that in order to grab a young adult audience, which I don't think was entirely necessary. So yeah, kind of moving on from that, since this is historical fiction, how does Philippa Gregory deal with the historical fiction? For the most part, I thought she did really great, and I actually was like, I think I'm learning some new things, because I'm not really familiar with Italy that much. I mean, the most I kind of deal with Italy when I read historical fiction is when I read anything with the Borgias, because I love the Borgias and whatnot. And a lot of the things that she was dealing with in this series, just a lot of things that I've never seen done in other historical fiction, I suppose. I mean, yeah, in this first book, Luca is dealing with a nunnery. I mean, nunneries aren't new in historical fiction. So yeah, this first book, you can probably figure out what the ending is, probably, if you've read other historical fiction taking place at nunneries. Some of the things that happen probably won't be surprising to you. But yeah, like the second book deals with a young orphan boy who's kind of like a messiah-like figure, and he's trying to take all these kids on a pilgrimage. And yeah, that whole story ends very mysteriously, because you don't know if this boy was really a prophet or not. And yeah, one of the biggest things in book 2, it deals with a big tsunami. The thing is, though, the characters don't know it's a tsunami. They have no idea it's a tsunami. so they think it's the wrath of God coming down upon them and whatnot. This big huge wave overtaking this little village in Italy. So yeah, that was interesting. I've never seen historical fiction deal with a tsunami. Is that possible I guess in Italy? Maybe I'm ignorant. Can Italy get tsunamis? You guys, is that something that can happen? Because you mostly hear about tsunamis, you know, around Asia, you know what I mean? You mostly hear about things like that happening around Asia. So yeah, I didn't know that was a possibility for Italy. That seems kind of weird. Is that just me? I don't know. Either way, though, that was kind of cool to see a tsunami done in a historical fiction context, because you, the reader, know exactly what it is, but these characters have no idea because they think it's the wrath of God or the devil or, you know, some sort of punishment for their sins. And then, yeah, book 3 deals with the forgery of these gold coins and the dealing of alchemy and the Philosopher's Stone. Yeah, if you've read Harry Potter, you're familiar with the Philosopher's Stone. But yeah, I loved that whole thing. I think book 3 was easily my favorite book in the series, to be quite honest. I really loved that. And then, yeah, book 4 deals with this dancing sickness. Why are these people... Why are they just randomly dancing? Why can't they stop their dancing? What is the psychology? It's a very psychological book, you know, what is the psychology here? Because that's the thing with all these books. All of these problems that Luca and his friends are going to investigate, they all seem like they have some sort of supernatural origin. And yeah, that's the point of what Luca is up to. He's supposed to investigate, are these real, genuine supernatural occurrences? You know, are they being inflicted by the devil or by God or whatever? What is the explanation here? He has to find rationality in order to save people's lives, essentially. Because, yeah, if it was heresy, you know, it was heresy if you thought a certain way or did certain things, and you can be burned at the stake or whatever. And so, yeah, he's trying to uncover, okay, like the dancing sickness, for instance. You know, what's up with the dancing sickness? What's up with the forgery? Does the Philosopher's Stone really exist? Yeah, the nuns. Why are the nuns sleepwalking? It's weird. So yeah, I guess what I'm trying to get at with the historical fiction aspects of this book, I just really like learning and discovering some new sorts of things, I suppose. You know, like the dancing sickness, like the tsunami that may or may not have happened back in the day. I don't know. So yeah, just really fascinating, interesting things to sit and contemplate the nature of this world during this time, you know, the way people behaved, you know, their thoughts and feelings about things when it came to religion. And yeah, Jewish people play a huge role in these books, and they're constantly oppressed and beaten upon, and yeah, you definitely see that with book 4 in this series. So yeah, some interesting things there done with the Jewish people, how that's just been going on since the dawn of time. Like I said, Ishraq, her Muslim faith, and yeah, we do come across some other Muslim characters over the course of the book. So yeah, just a lot of really interesting, fascinating things going on in this series, and I think Philippa Gregory, her strongest parts do deal with the historical fiction. Her weakest parts are, I think, the characters on occasion. I think as individuals they're fine, but yeah, when they're all kind of intermingling, it's very strange and awkward, and it just doesn't work, unfortunately. And yeah, guys, I really do hope Philippa Gregory continues with this series, because I feel like it's leading up to Vlad the Impaler. You know, the guy who gives rise to the Dracula legend, I suppose. I'm really hoping that's where this story is eventually leading to, that we get Vlad the Impaler, and yeah, that'd be interesting with Luca. Like, is this guy a vampire or what, or is he not? That'd be interesting to kind of read in the context of how these books are set up. So yes, please, Philippa Gregory, I need Vlad the Impaler by the time we end this series. So, yeah, that's kind of essentially it for this book review, you guys. Some of my problems and the things that I enjoyed for the most part. This series may or may not be for you. It just depends on how much you really like Philippa Gregory. I mean, if you're a die-hard Philippa Gregory fan like I am, you may want to pick these up just for the hell of it so you can complete your collection of all her books. But yeah, if you've had troubles with Philippa Gregory in the past and her books are very hit or miss with you, and especially if you're just not into the young adult genre, you're probably not really going to like these books, and they might just be a waste of time for you. So yeah, it's really up to you as the reader where you're at with Philippa Gregory, whether you love her or you hate her, if you're somewhere in the middle. But yeah, me personally, these books were fine. I liked them. They moved very quickly. I never found them boring. They moved quickly for the most part. They were fun and entertaining. I felt like I learned some new things about just other little events in history that I wasn't familiar with. And yeah, it made me interested to look up more and find out, what is historical fact and what's historical fiction. So yeah, it just really depends on you as the reader, what you're going to like and take away from these books. But yeah, like I said, me personally, I enjoyed them and found them entertaining, and they served their purpose and function, I suppose. So that's it for my book review. You guys, in the comments below, have you guys read Philippa Gregory's Order of Darkness? Do you plan on reading it anytime in the future? Just let me know. So that's it for this review. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like this video, you may like these other videos. Bye guys.